committing ourselves to become the best teachers we can possibly be. Because, as you're going to see, the young people need good teachers more than ever before. There's something about commitment, right? I mean, the word itself, committed, commitment, to commit. It's like there's a certain sacredness to it. There's a certain gravity, seriousness about it. Well, this is it. Ito ang gusto nating ipangako. We commit to be great teachers, to be the best teachers we can possibly be. And for that, we need to avoid mediocrity, mediocre teachers. We're going to talk also a little bit about that para alam natin kung ano ang dapat nating iwasan. And then to strive for greatness in your teaching. I know majority of you, if not all of you, are new teachers. We only have a handful who have been teaching for 3 or more years, but majority, a great majority, are on your first year as a teacher. Please, everybody start somewhere, okay? Don't expect to be suddenly in the very first day, in the very first year, the great teachers you want to be. We may commit mistakes here and there along the way, but the important thing is we are going to strive for greatness, committing ourselves to honing our skills, engaging our students, and then making a difference in their lives. There's something about commitment, the power of commitment, na pagka pinangako mo, pwedeng mangyari. Pero kung hindi mo ipapangako sa sarili mo na you will strive to be the best teacher, a great teacher that you can possibly be, then medyo mas mahihirapan. Now, along the way, like what we're going to do now, real talk muna tayo, no? Let's not be too careful about what we say because, come on, we're adults. We're not kids. Here is a real talk. Bakit sabi ng feedback ng maraming administrator sa akin, lately daw, madaming newly hired teachers ang hindi tumatagal sa trabaho. And I saw it even before the pandemic happened. Parang may mga young generation of teachers na straight from college, they get into teaching. Tapos, after 1 quarter, meron pa nga ako kilala, isang buwan lang. After 1 month, abay biglang mawawala. No text, no email, basta na lang mawawala. Will give up the work and then disappear. And then even worse, I had one case of a teacher, after disappearing, no text, no email. 1 month later, magte-text, sasabihin, Sir, gusto kong bumalik. Ay, syempre, tatanungin mo, saan ka nang galing? Bakit nawala ka? We didn't hear from you. And then sasabihin niya, Sir, kasi nagka-problema ako na some mental health issues. Okay, you could have texted, you could have emailed, we could have talked. Pero hindi ganyan, yung biglang you throw everything up in the air and then just leave everything behind. Sino ngayon ang maaagrabyado? We needed to look for a substitute. We needed to make sure somebody is in your classroom while you were out. Pero sabi ng feedback from HR officers, from some school officers, dumami raw lately, these past years, even before, a little bit before pandemic, there is that tendency among young professionals, and it's not just happening in the teaching profession. It's happening everywhere. Bakit? Parang kulang sa commitment, dedication, loyalty, or palabra de honor. Na pag pumirma ka ng kontrata, that you're going to teach, for example, in a school, or you're going to work for a company, meron niyang, di ba, commitment. Meron niyang kasamang promise that you are going to do your work in the best way that you can. So, pati ba naman commitment kailangan ituro pa sa atin? Well, not that we need to teach it, we need to have it. It's not about simply promising, but especially doing our best and then exerting the effort to be able to show our commitment. So I'd like to start by giving a bit of an inspiration to all of you. Most likely, some of you have seen this video um, of Gabay Guro, but it's good to take a look at it and then to see to pwedeng it's worthwhile committing ourselves to something as noble as the teaching profession. We do not just teach a subject, we help young people achieve their dreams. And that's why in the first session that we had about the role of a teacher, we said we many times are more than just a teacher. We become a mentor, a guide, a coach, an influencer, a dream maker. That was one of the phrases, in fact, I used. That is a teacher. We help young people reach their dreams. That's why it's worthwhile committing ourselves to. Kasi tinutulungan natin ang mga kabataan na maabot nila ang kanilang pangarap sa buhay. At hindi lang yan, minsan, hindi lang to reach their dreams, but to set a high objective for their life, for themselves. Na hindi lang nila nanaisin na someday, they will become, I don't know, a call center agent. Okay, I have nothing against call center agents. They're hardworking, committed, but let's open the horizon of these young people to dream even bigger than that, higher than that, to make a difference in the world. That's a nice dream that we can help young people commit themselves to, which we will be able to do to help them set that kind of dream or objective if we ourselves are committed. Commitment is the unwavering dedication to the relentless pursuit of lighting the path of knowledge for every student, regardless of regardless of hurdles or setbacks. Now, I remember mentioning this on session in the session one, but I also know that there are some of you who were not with us in the previous sessions. Some were registered only for the session today. Some others only for the fourth or the fifth session. So it's okay if I repeat some ideas. Besides, these are very important ideas. Teachers, teaching is not a bed of roses, okay? Nobody promised us a rose garden. Pinili natin itong trabahong ito that is not easy. Let's face it, it is not easy. You have to expect difficulties, challenges, trials along the way. Pero kung ang titingnan natin is 20 years from now, because we were a good teacher today, this year, this school year, itong mga kabataan ngayon who are inside our classroom 20 years from now will be highly successful, highly motivated, rich even, maybe even popular, maybe even influential and powerful. It's going to be worthwhile. It's worthwhile if we look forward to 10 years from now, 20 years from now, the effect of what we are doing now. Pero we have to be committed to it. Now, here are some reasons why some teachers are not committed to the teaching profession. Why they teach only to be able to cover the curriculum. Yan. Here's one sign of lack of commitment. When the teacher is only one chapter ahead of the students in the lessons. Yan. O kaya, minimalist. Minimalist. May alam akong eskwelahan, 4:30 ang dismissal ng school. Okay? 4:30. At 4:15, aba, may mga teachers na nakapila sa bandy clock. O kaya dun sa, alam niyo yung anong tawag doon, yung pagka mag-out ka or mag-in, gagamitin yung biometrics, ayan. 4:30 ang dismissal, 4:15 pa lang, nakaabang na doon. Hinihintay mag 4:30 yung relo para as soon as 4:30, out! Para bang, not a minute more. Ang iniisip nila, abay, wala namang bayad itong extra time na to. Yan. So, here are some reasons why commitment is absent among some teachers. Number one, some teachers are in the profession just because they need a salary. Okay? I mean, sabi ko kanina, real talk lang tayo kasi adults naman tayo, wala naman ditong bata. All of us are mature enough to know there are some teachers who get into the profession kasi kailangan nila ng salary. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, really. Because of course we need the salary. Of course we need to earn. Of course we need to bring food to the table. We need to survive. Pero kung yun lang ang dahilan kung bakit tayo naging teacher, mahihirapan ka. Darating at darating ang panahon na sasabihin mo, napakaliit ng salary. Kulang ang salary. It's not enough. Okay, that's one. If the only reason why the teacher gets into the profession is for the salary, I tell you, at a certain point, that is not enough. The salary is too low. I mean, kung gusto mong yumaman, I think teaching profession is one of the least that can make you rich. Number two, there are some teachers na nag-teacher kasi ang feeling nila, pwede nilang ipagyabang ang kanilang nalalaman, ang kanilang kaalaman, ang kanilang katalinuhan, flaunting one's talent. Again, if that is the only reason why a teacher gets into the profession, sooner or later, you are going to be frustrated. You're going to be frustrated that you enter the classroom and the students will not listen to you. Hindi lang yan, tutulugan ka pa ng ibang estudyante. And then, at a certain point, ang iisipin mo, pinaghirapan ko tong kaalaman ko para ibigay sa inyo, mga students, and then tutulugan nyo lang ako. You're going to be frustrated. You're even going to be upset and then angry. And then, you will hate teaching. You will hate the students. Kasi, kala mo, pagpasok mo ng classroom, kabibiliban ka that the students will be so impressed, amazed with your talent. Well, sorry to say, but the students, especially basic education, the students do not have yet the maturity at that point to see talent, to acknowledge great intelligence. Some teachers decided to go into the profession because they feel expert ako sa math, expert ako sa science, expert ako sa language. That's why I got into this profession. Very nice. But similar to flaunting one's talent, at a certain point, you may get disappointed, frustrated. Na iba pala yung knowing the subject matter and teaching it in a way that they will understand. In fact, from my experience, yung mga summa cum laude, valedictorian, yung napakatatalinong mga nag-teacher, they get very frustrated. Tapos iisipin nila, ano ba ng mga kabataan na to? Bakit hindi lang maintindihan? Because a teacher like that may have a hard time bringing down the lesson to the level of the kids. Those who need more time to understand or to process. So, expertise in the subject matter, is good reason to get into the teaching profession, but it can lead to frustration when you start realizing knowing a subject matter is different from teaching it effectively. Next, pansamantalang trabaho lang. I know some teachers who are like that. They get into the profession similar to the last there kasi wala nang ibang trabahong mapasukan. Kasi may opening dito, pero yung gusto kong trabaho, wala pa. Or, here's another um, phenomenon that I'm seeing more and more. Some teachers get into the teaching profession here in the Philippines, pero ang kanilang ultimate objective is to be able to teach abroad in the US, in UK, in Australia, where salary can even be, I'm not kidding, 10 times. Salary in the US of a beginning teacher is practically 10 times, more than 10 times the salary of a teacher here in the Philippines. So, there are some who are like that. They get into the teaching profession here now, pero ang stepping stone lang yon. Ang objective nila is to be able to teach elsewhere. Kaya parang half-hearted dito ang pagturo kasi this is just one step um, towards what they really want to be able to do. Okay, so that is where commitment may be absent. But let's face it, you and I also had spectacular teachers, committed teachers. I want to hear from you. Please type in the chat box. Name one quality of the best teacher you have ever had. One. It doesn't have to be one word, it can be a description of the best teacher you have ever had. I'm going to start. The best teacher I have ever had did not give up on me, even if I was very poor in English. My dear teachers, when I was in second year high school, nung ako ay second year high school, my English was practically grade 5 level. And my English teacher that time detained me and some of my other classmates in order to give us remedial classes in English. How about you? Can you name one quality of the best teacher you have ever had? Share it with us in the chat box. It can be, as I said, let me see. Okay, there are now 62 of us here in the room. Kind and understanding. Thank you, Ma'am Alisa. Yes, that's one of the reasons why we loved some of our teachers in basic education because they were kind, they were understanding. Maybe you can even add they were patient. Ma'am Jacel said, genuinely concerned about students' welfare. Oh, we love teachers like that. Genuine, especially, na talagang um, tinulungan tayo. Caring and patient. Fantastic. We love patient teachers who did not resort to shouting, screaming, and yelling. Okay. Joshua Mark, she told me while I was reporting in front of the class, Josh, you should teach. Fantastic. You have a teacher's touch and ability. You see, we all listened and understood your lesson. Nice. That's what you call motivation. That's what you call um, planting that enthusiasm for you. And then I think, Joshua, that teacher helped you see what you are good in. Maybe something you did not even realize that you had. Maria Bonoan, humor and laughter. Yes, I love a class where there is a lot of laughter, there is a lot of humor, that the teacher does not take himself or herself so seriously. The opposite of humor and laughter is terror. You are scared, you're afraid. Okay, edgy said dedication, which is almost like another word for commitment. Fantastic. Compassionate, sabi ni Mr. Roped Cortez. Build students' confidence. Yes, we love that teacher who helped us build confidence, motivating us always. Strict but with a loving heart. Patience, kahit paulit-ulit pang hindi maintindihan ng bata, uulitin niya. Yes, Ma'am Nima, that is a fantastic teacher. That is also like not giving up on us because it's very easy to tell the students, ay nako, bahala kayo. Problema nyo na yan. Magpatulong kayo sa nanay nyo kung gusto nyo. But no, a good teacher would repeat over and over until the students will say, we understand it. Karen Joy, understanding patience and inspires me always. Fantastic. I saw how my professor, mentor in surgery struggled. Hey, Dr. Cordero is here. You attended every single one of the Catalyst seminars. I think you can give this session even better than any one of us here. Good. Struggle to set good example. Fantastic. That is a great quality of great teachers. Patience, understanding, devoted, enthusiastic, ready to give one consultation to discuss my weakness and strength and help me focus on strength. That's one to one concern. That's coaching, guiding, mentoring, patience and passion. The best teacher I ever had was during my master's. He was so passionate about his profession that it transfers to us students. Fantastic. Respectful attitude with maturity. Okay, thank you so much. And my dear fellow teachers, having read those qualities, weren't we just inspired to want to also have those qualities that were mentioned by you? That we want to be dedicated, that we want to show good example, that we want to be patient and understanding with our students, etc. The beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you. So let's go on with commitment. Commitment is the solemn promise to stand strong in the face of adversity, to nurture young minds, and to foster a love for learning that transcends circumstance, regardless of the economic background of the students. Okay? It's a solemn promise. That's why sabi natin kanina, well, this session today is like encouraging us. Kailangan mangako tayo. Mangako tayo sa sarili natin at mangako tayo sa mundo, mangako tayo sa ating mga estudyante that we will strive to be the best teachers we can possibly be. And then sabi dito, in the face of adversity, and I already mentioned, expect it. As sure as the sun will rise, there will be challenges in our profession. Whether it is, real talk ulit tayo in terms of salary, or the kind of students now we have inside the classroom, attitude, disciplinary problem students, students who will come inside the classroom and they never seem to have learned respect, responsibility, hard work. They complain. You will encounter situations like that, students like that, or and this is a reality, any teacher who has spent even just 1 year inside the classroom, tanungin ninyo, and they will talk to you about how at a certain point in the school year, we were so, we felt so toxic and overburdened and overloaded. Yung bang in between quarters or in between semesters, nagche-check ka pa lang ng papers, fina-follow up ka na ng coordinator about your unit plans, lesson plans for the new semester or new quarter that's about to start. It can happen, it happens. That at a certain point, you just feel like 24 hours is not enough. You need more time. Well, in the face of adversity, the solemn promise has to remain that we will continue nurturing young minds, fostering a love for learning that transcends circumstance. After all, you know, Albert Einstein tells us it is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. In the realm of teaching, commitment is the fiery determination to leave an indelible mark on the world through the lives you touch, knowing that the seeds of wisdom you saw today will bloom into a brighter tomorrow. Teachers, that is one of the keys to staying committed, to not giving up in the teaching profession in spite of the challenges and difficulties. This is one of the very strong impetus, motivations for a teacher to keep on teaching. The realization that you are preparing the future of not just of your students, but because these students are the ones who are going to create the kind of society we will have in the future, you are effectively preparing the future of the Philippines, of the world. If you think that way about our profession, talagang you're going to be committed. Fiery determination, not just simple determination. It's got to be nag-aapoy, napangako, the fiery determination, which means kahit anong hirap ang pagdadaanan mo, you're not going to give up, you're not going to quit. You look forward to still being able to form these young minds. That's why we are not just teaching subjects. We teach character, we teach mindsets, we teach young people to grow up to be good. Not just knowing your subject matter. Yeah, they will learn your subject matter, whatever subject you're teaching, math, science, English. Pero, sabi ni Martin Luther King, it's not enough that we try to give them intelligence, academic subjects inside the classroom. We have to form their character. That is the true goal of education. And at that root, that is the root of the commitment that we have of why we don't want to give up or we will not quit. We continue to be committed because we are not just preparing future scientists, mathematicians, we are preparing future leaders, human beings who are going to create the kind of society that we will see in the future. Now, real talk ulit tayo If teachers, if teachers are supposed to be the ones preparing the future leaders, the future influential people, powerful people, ang tanong, yung mga corrupt politicians that we have right now, pwede ba nating sisihin yung mga naging teachers nila? Sabi ko sa inyo last week when we were tackling session number 1, pag ang isang lamesa sira, madaling sabihin, ibalik nga yan sa karpintero. Ipaayos nga yan sa gumagawa. But if a person grows up to be corrupt, dishonest, cheating, bad, immoral, pwede ba nating sabihin, ibalik nga yan sa grade 5, kung saan dapat tinuruan sila about uprightness and not lying and not cheating and hindi nating pwedeng sabihin ganun. All we can say for now is let's commit ourselves to this idea. Bawat isang estudyante na dadaan sa classroom ko, every single one of them, I have to make sure that I'm committed to help him or her to be a good person. The past is past. Wala na tayong magagawa doon. Itong mga politicians na nagpapayaman, nambubulsa ng binabayad nating buwis, yung pinaghirapan nating buwis, taxes that we pay, tapos bubulsa lang ng mga corrupt politicians pala. Wala na tayong magagawa doon sa mga yon. But we have a chance now with these students you have inside our classroom now. Let us help them to grow up to be good people who will make sure that they will always be moral, choosing to do the right thing. And that is the power of a good teacher. We are in a position to make sure that every single one of the students that enters our classroom, we will teach them hard work, commitment, loyalty, truthfulness, sincerity. Why? Because we are not just going to teach math, science, and English, we're also going to try to form their character. And we said already in talk number 1, especially through the powerful example of our life. That's what Dr. Cordero pointed out earlier, that's a great teacher, the powerful example of our life. We are in a position to teach that, to do that. Commitment is a steadfast allegiance to the transformative power of education and an unyielding belief that every child deserves the chance to soar. You see, there's no other profession that is capable of doing that. We are like jewelers, yung alahero. Every student that comes inside our classroom is like an unpolished gem. And we are in a position to polish them so that we remove the rough edges, so that by the time they are going to be out there in society, professionals working, they are going to be polished stones. And by polished there, I mean may character, may virtues, may values. Such is the power of a teacher. It's worthwhile committing ourselves to it. Fred Rogers said, anyone who does anything to help a child in his life is a hero to me. Well, is a hero, period. Anyone who makes the life of another human being better, really, is a hero. And we need heroes today like that. So it's worthwhile committing ourselves to a task like this, teaching, forming character, molding minds, preparing the future. Live, sabi ni Gandhi, live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Commitment, therefore, for a teacher is the unwritten pact to be the beacon of hope, the pillar of strength, and the catalyst for change in a world that is hungry for knowledge and compassion. And some of you, well, many of you mentioned there, among the qualities of the best teachers you've ever had, compassion, understanding, caring. That is it. That is what we are committing ourselves to. Sabi ni Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And there is a need to change the world. Every single student that comes inside your classroom is looking for a hero, looking for someone who will change their life for the better. Okay, maybe their parents are also doing that. And yes, many parents are the heroes of their children. Pero kulang. Especially because we mentioned in one of the previous talks, there are now 13 million Filipinos working abroad, leaving their children behind. Not that they're not heroes anymore, Pero iba ang um, nandoon if you are really present. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. So, today we are being invited through this talk, through this session, to dream, to be the best teachers we can possibly be, not just a mediocre one, but a great one who really will change the world. And we're going to do it inside the classroom through the students entrusted to our care. Those of you who have attended some of my past sessions, not just this series, but even in the past, you must have heard me say this. We are not given subjects to teach. We are entrusted with students to take care of, to mold the minds of, to form the character of. You see the big difference? Hindi lang tayo nagtuturo ng subject. Tinutulungan natin ang mga kabataan, ang mga bata na to grow up to be the best human beings they can be so that they can change the world, they can change society, they can change the course of history. Commitment is a promise kept, a legacy forged, and a testament to the extraordinary impact one can have on the future, one classroom at a time. Such is the power of teacher. So, teachers, I hope many of you, if not all of you, will stay in the profession for many years, for many years, even if along the way you will encounter difficulties, challenges. If you realize, if you are aware that we are not just covering the curriculum, we are changing one child, um, one classroom at a time, one level at a time, but all of these geared towards changing the world. Pero, mag-real talk muna ulit tayo. I've just given you a long definition of commitment or a description of what a committed teacher is all about. Real talk lang tayo, no? Kung hindi ka ganito ka-committed, huwag ka na lang mag-teacher. I mean, kung hindi ganong klaseng commitment ang pwede nating ibigay sa pagtulong sa mga kabataan, maybe we're not really cut out for the teaching profession. Especially if um, we we are not ready to take on the burden of having to help young people. After all, sabi ni Dr. Florence Simmons, we didn't choose a job. We chose a mission. That's why a teacher who sees the profession not just as a job, not just as a work that can bring salary in, but as a mission. My mission in life is to make a difference in the lives of people. My mission is to prepare young people to be the future leaders of society. Yan. If we look at our teaching profession as a mission and not merely a job, then you stand a better chance of success and especially of truly making a difference. That is the difference between commitment and simply being employed. We are engaged in the business of enhancing lives. Okay? We are not just here to cover the curriculum, to teach students how to pass a quiz or how to pass a test or how to pass a subject. We are here helping students to pass the test of life. If our mindset is like that, yan, that's commitment. That's a mission. Okay, let me hear again from you. Kanina binigay nyo sa akin the qualities of the best teachers you've ever had. I know, real talk ulit tayo, there are some teachers we've had in our life who were not great, who were even, maybe you can say, what we call mediocre teachers. Can you name one quality of one teacher that you did not like? I mean, why did you not like that teacher? Yan, Ma'am Alisa said, masungit. Ayaw natin ng masungit na teacher. Ayaw natin ng inconsiderate. Yan. May favoritism. Yan. Oh, mentioned by Ma'am Roda and Kay. So, parang talagang ano, no, sinusuka natin ang teachers na may favoritism. Lazy, sabi ni Ma'am Melanie. Nagpapahiya, ayan. Putting student on the spot or making fun or, ayan. Arrogant, terror, judgmental. Fantastic. Now we see um, these are the qualities we also don't want ever to be used to describe us. Sabi ni Ma'am Fatima, nagpapatinda lang sa classroom. Ano to ma'am? Nagtitinda, ano? Required kayo bumili ng snack sa kanya, gano'n. Very high expectations, very high standards. Okay, pero okay. We have to take it also with a certain ano no correct understanding because sabi natin dati one of the qualities of a great teacher is high expectations that students will be successful. Yan. And for that, you set high standards for them. Tormentor, sabi ni Dr. Cordero. Okay, so we don't like a terror teacher, nagpapahiya, judgmental, arrogant, etc. May these words, adjectives never be used to describe us. And therefore, part of our commitment to be the best teachers we can possibly be is the commitment not to ever have these qualities. Let's be positive because if you're positive, you'll see opportunities instead of obstacles. Okay, real talk ulit tayo, sir and ma'am, ano? Positive, sabi ko. Ang hirap naman maging positive kung ganito ang mga estudyante ngayon, no? I mean, you agree with me? Parang ibang klase na ang mga bata ngayon. Sumasagot na. Minsan, pag sinabihan mo, John, sit down. Aba, titingin ng masama sa'yo si John. Para bang kasalanan mo pa. Para bang ikaw pa ang may mali. May mga ganyang estudyante na ngayon, di ba? O kaya, binibigay mo pa lang yung assignment sa kanila, iniisip na nila, i-chat GPT ko yan, ika-cut and paste ko yan, i-google ko yan. Ayan. Um, Ganun na. Yung ibang klase ang mga estudyante ngayon. Sabi nga ng research, the young people today are not as kind, are not as respectful, and yes, are not as responsible as you and I when we were younger. Even empathy is in a crisis. They don't know how to feel for other people. Ganun na raw ang mga kabataan ngayon. So, Mr. Rentoy, paano yon? Ang hirap maging positive kung ganito na ngayon ka-challenging ang makikita mo sa loob ng classroom. Okay, let's talk a bit about the generation of young people today. The crisis na nakikita natin sa mga kabataan because of the kind of environment they live in, the kind of environment that they find themselves in. Nandyan yung digital addiction. 'Di ba? Sa mga kabataan ngayon, especially kung walang supervision ng mga magulang sa bahay. In fact, in fact, ang totoo niyan, Many of them, nasa loob ng classroom mo, pero ang isip nila nasa video game. They cannot wait to get back home so that they can get back to their Spotify, Netflix, internet, arcade games, video games. Yan. That is the kind of students we have in our classroom today. Addicted to gadgets, addicted to internet. Tapos, because of social media, this is, sabi ng researchers, the generation of young people today are the most self-centered and vain. Na ang mindset nila is they have to let the world know how they feel, what they think. They have to let the whole world know yung kanilang kinakain. Pipicturean bago nila kainin yan. At dapat i-announce nila sa YouTube, sa Twitter, sa Instagram, sa Facebook kung ano ang kanilang ulam ngayon o kung nasaan sila. Kung yan. Well, that's the height of self-centeredness and vanity. And then now we're dealing with depression among teenagers. And I always point out this news article. I'm not talking about US lang. It's happening here in the Philippines. There is such a thing as teen depression, mental health issues among young people. There is the problem with teen pregnancy. Sabi nitong Popcom article, the head of Commission on Population and Development clarified that about 40 to 50 Filipino children aged 10 to 14 give birth every week, not every year, as previously reported. I mean, this is scandalously big. 10 to 14 years old, 40 to 50 of them give birth every week. This is what we are seeing. And maybe at the root of that is pornography, which continues to plague especially the young people. And sabi ng research, sabi ng Pornhub, last year, more women accessed Pornhub than men. And Filipinos continue to be number one in terms of hours spent. I usually show this picture of a kid with a cell phone. And many times yung cellphone niya, mas maganda kaysa sa cellphone mo. Diyan siya, nanonood ng kanyang movies, gumagawa ng kanyang videos, nakikinig ng kanyang music, naglalaro ng video games, ayan. When I see a kid like this, I feel a bit of irritation and upset because naaalala ko, ako pinag-ipunan ko yung una kong cellphone. Pinaghirapan ko sa aking sweldo para makabili ng cellphone. Itong batang to, abay, walang trabaho yan, pero may cellphone. Hindi niya pinaghirapan yan para makuha yung cellphone niya. And maybe that is at the root of our complaint about this young generation being so entitled. Di ba? Ang lakas ng kanilang self-entitlement. O nga naman, kasi para bang internet, cellphone, tablet, gadget, all of these are being given to them on a silver platter and they didn't have to work hard to get them. They don't need to work hard to get them. They are given to them as a gift for Christmas, ganyan, no? So, ang lakas ng kanilang self-entitlement. In fact, research tells us 1/3 of the kids today start using a gadget while still in diapers. 1/3 of kids today start using a gadget, whether it's cell phone or tablet, while still in diapers. Kaya lalaki talaga ng mga Instagram mindset, Facebook and Twitter mindset na kailangan nilang i-post bawat hakbang nila. Meron nga mga bata ngayon, batang-bata pa lang, 7 years old pa lang, ginagawa na ng social media ng magulang nila para nandun ang lahat ng kanilang albums, photo albums, pictures, no? Hanggang sa lumaki sila. That's pageantry of vanity. So, that is the kind of generation of kids we're dealing with. So immersed in technology. And then, sabi nitong reality, we have more and more kids coming inside our classroom and they come from broken families. I mean, that's the reality of life. We have more and more kids coming inside our classroom and they come from irregular family situations, dysfunctional family situations, or um, homes where the parents are absentee. Either because the mother is working abroad, the father is working abroad, or, well, like what has happened in some families, sadly, iniwan sila ng nanay, iniwan sila ng tatay, and we have to cope with that. We, teachers, have to be ready to face students coming from homes like that entering our classroom. They have more questions in their minds about life than about math, science, English, social studies. They're looking for answers to questions like, bakit kami iniwan ng tatay ko? Bakit ang nanay ko piniling makapagtrabaho abroad, iniwan kami? Those are the questions they have in their mind, not about factoring, subject-verb agreement, uh, chemical bonds. They are asking many questions that have nothing to do with your subject. And yet, you are there to help them make sense of life. And that's the commitment that teaching is asking of us. Are you committed to help these kids who have so many questions in their mind other than questions about your subject matter? You have to be ready to deal with all sorts of students, all sorts of kids, all sorts of teenagers who are grappling with bigger questions about life, bigger than your subject, bigger than your unit plan, bigger than what you are trying to make them understand about your subject matter. Effectively, these young people come inside the classroom looking for heroes that they badly need in their life. And that's what we are called to be the heroes of these young people. So, young teachers, 90+% of you in this group are young teachers. Please believe me when I tell you that we are being invited to commit ourselves more than just to teach the syllabus that you are given by your coordinator, to help these young people grow up to be good human beings in spite of the difficulties they encounter in their life, in spite of the challenges presented by the environment that they find themselves in. That's why the calling of a teacher is a call to greatness. Our calling is to be the heroes of these young people today. And you and I were lucky we had great teachers in our life. Sabi nila, normally you have at least one great teacher in your lifetime. Swerte mo na if you have 2, 3, 4, or more. But many times, on an average daw, a person would have only one great teacher. Well, let's hear it from you. Type in the chat box. Shout out mo yung teachers na gusto nating pasalamatan because now we see their commitment. We see that they didn't just cover the curriculum. We now see they were great teachers who helped us enhance our lives. Can you share with us in the chat box one name or another? Some of you, if you had more than one, then type it here. okay, si Ma'am Kay, si Teacher Tin. Hello, Teacher Tin. Congrats. You were great. Ma'am Tedlin, to Ma'am Altes of wow, grade 1 teacher. Amazing. Sister Felicitas, Fernell, shout out to you. I want to shout out personally to people like Dr. Antonio Toralba, Mr. Manny Escasa, Dr. Paul Dumol, Mr. Severino Estrera, who didn't just teach me history, social studies, English, and Latin. They taught me what it means to be a great human being. That's what made them great. So, to Miss Kim, Ma'am Regina, Sir Nel, twice na tong si Sir Nel na to ah. Parang must be really great to Donna Dilag, Ma'am Donna Dilag, thank you so much to you. Ma'am Beth, Sir Amiel, best teacher. Teacher Ben Tapang, Lucy Ruiz, Mr. Cuevas, uh, another grade 1 teacher, Ma'am Diosdada. Hello. Oh, meron na namang Sir Nel. Napakagaling talaga nitong Sir Nel na to. Baka naman nandito kasi siya sa Zoom room. Ma'am Tedeline, Sir Armanel Libunaw, elementary teacher, Ma'am Maghopoy, grade 1 to 4 teacher. CWES teachers, Teacher Jessica, Ma'am Divina, Teacher Abeth. Thank you, Doc Gilbert, best prof. Right. Tingnan nyo mga best teachers yan. BNSAT teachers, Teacher Roda, Dr. Alejo from Ateneo, thesis advisor. Wow. Sir Amanel, ikaapat na ni Sir Nel na to Ibang klase tong teacher. I hope to be able to work with Sir Nel. Teacher Aldea, Marife Lorenzo, Teacher Roda, Teacher Lodilin, Teacher Jessica, and many more. You are very lucky you had great teachers like this. Okay, Ma'am Juliet said, my high school teacher who helped me gain confidence, Teacher Rochelle. Go, Teacher Rochelle. Dr. Annabel Lakbayan. How I wish all all students are given the opportunity to shout out, to advertise, I mean, to really shout to the whole world the great teachers that they've had. And if you have never expressed this gratitude to these teachers that you mentioned here, send them a message in Facebook, in Twitter, look for them, or drop by the school just to be able to tell them, Ma'am, Sir, thank you very much for your dedication, for your commitment, for your hard work. And even one of the best things we teachers can ever hear is when a former student tells us, I decided to become a teacher because of you. And that's what we hear many times when we go to alumni homecoming. Yan. When students tell us, I am who I am because of you, ma'am, sir. Thank you very much. Well, we all have all these great teachers to thank. Pero, real talk tayo, no? Kasi sabi naman natin, wala namang bata dito. Lahat tayo mature. Real talk lang. Hindi lahat ng naging teachers natin great. Di ba? We also had our share of so-so teachers. Mediocre ones. Yung hindi nga natin maalala kung anong ginawa nila sa classroom. Para bang lagi silang nagmamadaling umalis. Pag pumapasok ng classroom, parang nagdadabog, parang dragging their feet. We had mediocre teachers. Binanggit nga kanina, some of you mentioned, lazy, nampapahiya, hindi magaling magturo. Ayan. Okay. In other words, my dear fellow teachers, we have a choice. We can be great or we can be mediocre. Today, the invitation for us is let's commit ourselves to be the great teachers we all can possibly be. It's a choice, and we are making that choice today. I'm going to commit myself to it. Education is the key to unlocking the world, a passport to freedom. Oprah Winfrey said that. Pero, hindi madali. Real talk ulit tayo, no? While we all want to be great teachers, ang hirap dito sa Pilipinas. Hindi maganda ang sweldo ng teachers. Sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, abay sa US, more than times 10 ang starting salary ng teacher fresh out of college. um, yes, that's how things go. Well, 5 times at least kasi 3,000 US dollars ang most states would pay a fresh college graduate and then entering the teaching profession. That's why mas malaking commitment ang hinihingi sa atin dito sa Pilipinas. Isipin na lang natin, well, maybe we will reach that stage when the country, schools, will be able to afford paying us like that. Pero for now, we're a third world country. We have to prepare the young people to get ourselves into that stage, into that kind of level. Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists they become the best they can possibly be. That is what we, teachers, have to be, the champion for our students. Pero, hindi madali, may challenges, mahirap. Teachers, alagaan ninyo ang sarili ninyo. Self-care is not selfish. It is essential. To be the best teacher, you must first take care of yourself. Now, I know most of you, 90% plus, are first year teachers. Very few administrators here. I want to share with you an observation. By the third month of the school year, second or third month, doon nag-uumpisa ang tinatawag nating teacher burnout. Burnout. Second or third month of the school year. So kung nagbukas kayo ng school year ng July, September, nandito na yung burnout. Kung nag-start kayo ng school year ng August, September, mga October, mag-uumpisa yung parang feeling nyo, toxic na, burnout na. Take care of yourself. Minsan, ang kailangan mo lang is a weekend where you just really take care of yourself, you rest, you take a break from lesson planning, unit planning, correcting papers. You have to take care of yourself so that you can do more. And tell your administrators, Ma'am, sir, sabi ng speaker namin sa seminar, around the second or third month of the school year, kailangan daw bigyan ng pahinga ang mga teachers. Maybe all we need is I don't know, to watch an inspiring movie about teaching and teachers. Maybe that's the only thing we need to take a break. Well, one of the most important ways to take a break is to take care of your sleep. Teachers, do not be sleep deprived because kung kulang kayo sa tulog, you cannot perform to the best that you can the next day. You will be sleepy, you will be groggy, you will be impatient, you will have little self-control, you will have little temperance. And magiging masungit ka. Sabi nyo kanina, yun yung quality ng teacher na hindi nyo gusto. Masungit, terror, inconsiderate. Okay, so we all want to be great. But how? How can we be great teachers? Okay, it's 4:10. I have around 15 minutes left. Let's have the passion for teaching. Great teachers are passionate about the subject matter they teach and genuinely enjoy teaching. You will genuinely enjoy teaching if you look forward to seeing these young people becoming better human beings because you taught them math, science, and English, but more than that, you taught them to be caring, to be hardworking, to be kind with each other, to respect adults, to respect their elders. You see, that's where the greater enjoyment comes in. When you realize, hindi mo lang sila tinuruan ng subject-verb agreement at saka ng factoring, abay tinuruan mo sila kung paano maging mabuting tao. This passion becomes contagious and can inspire students to engage more deeply with the material. Subject knowledge, whatever subject you are made to handle, to teach, let's do our best to be experts in it. Not just a chapter ahead of them, but really learning well what we are teaching. A great teacher has a deep and thorough understanding of the subject they teach. They are well prepared and stay updated with the latest developments in their field. Effective communication. They are skilled communicators, able to explain complex concepts in a clear and understandable manner. They listen actively and encourage questions and discussions. And then we look back, ay dapat pala ginawa ko to nung summer break. Hinanda ko ang sarili ko. It's okay. Today, we begin. And then we prepare ourselves. We continue growing in this area so that we can be great teachers. I'm giving you the qualities of great teachers and what they work on continuously to grow in. The next time that we will have a long weekend break, or the next time that we're going to have a Christmas break, a summer break, ito ang mga titingnan natin. How can I grow in my passion for teaching, my subject knowledge, my being a effective communicator? Well, I don't need to preach to you about adaptability because you are experts in that. You adapted in the pandemic. I mean, the truth is, we were never prepared for online learning. And then suddenly we were thrown into it, not by our choice, but by force of circumstance. And you did it. You graduated. You finished college, even given that special situation, difficult circumstance. You know adaptability. You know how to adapt. You have it. Now let's apply that into our situation as teachers, not as students anymore. You see, many of you pointed out earlier, the great teachers you've had were patient and understanding and caring, and these are both part of it, empathy and patience. Encourage and motivation. Great teachers inspire and motivate their students. They provide positive reinforcement and believe in their students' potential even when they face challenges. That's why I think most of you, if not all of you, received the email, um, making available to everyone, those of you who want to avail of that USB that contains 60 gigabytes of some of the best materials, especially what I love about the materials are the 16 of the best teacher movies available. Kasi minsan, the only thing we teachers need is a bit of inspiration, to be inspired, to be like the teacher there in Stand and Deliver, to be like Ron Clark, to be like Mr. Holland. Um, Sometimes that's the only thing we teachers need to become great. I mean, to really work to becoming the great teachers we all can possibly be. And so we took the pains of putting in one USB all these best materials, some of the most inspiring movies that can help us be inspired, be motivated, and then effectively pass on that inspiration, that motivation to our students. Another way of becoming a great teacher, creativity and innovation. Let's continue looking for new ways of teaching more effectively, better, more efficiently. And then, like I mentioned earlier, high expectations, high expectations that the students will succeed. Okay, that it's not about setting the standard so high that the students will be left behind. No, we also put into place no student left behind. And so when we teach with the weakest link in mind so that that person is able to understand and is able to master whatever we need to teach them. High expectation uh, that we express our um, hope for everybody, not just to pass, but to be successful in our subject, in the subject that we are teaching them. That is high expectation. And that's Harry Wong. And if you were with us in the last session, that's the third of the top three qualities according to that 50-year research. The top three traits of highly effective teachers. The expectation that the students will be successful. Problem solving, be better in problem solving because that is a mark of a great teacher. They are adept at identifying and addressing the challenges that students face in their learning journey. And then they find solutions and offer extra help when needed. And finally, continuous learning. That's why you're here. That's why be grateful that your administrator, your principal, or whoever asked you to join this meeting, to join this seminar. Um, be grateful that they gave you this opportunity because this is one way of growing, continuously learning so that we become the great teachers we can possibly be. Okay, I'm nearing the end of this presentation. Balik tayo sa real talk, no? Kasi mga matanda na tayo rito, walang bata. The truth is, real talk lang tayo. Minsan nakakapagod. Nakakapagod din na to strive to be the best teachers we can possibly be, to prepare the best unit plans so that we please the principal, we please the coordinator, so that our subject coordinator is happy with us. Nakakapagod din na ibalik natin ang test papers properly corrected, on time sa mga students. Nakakapagod din to submit all the requirements on time. Salamat sa lahat ng sakripisyo. And when students years later would come back for alumni homecoming, and then they look for you to say thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I am who I am because of you. It's only then when we will realize it's worthwhile. All the commitment, all the hard work, all the sacrifice, all the self-giving that we are doing now is all worthwhile. Especially when the students that we handled would come back to us to show us, excited to share with us that they are now successful people. It's not just rich when we say successful, that they are good people doing good things. And then we say it's all worthwhile. Sabi ni former education secretary, one of the former education secretaries, you know, the teachers, um, ka, um, hindi mo pwedeng lagyan ng, anong tawag dyan, presyo. Hindi mo pwedeng lagyan ng price tag ang trabaho nila because of the kind of work that we do. And we will only receive fairly what we truly rightfully deserve when we um, meet God in heaven. And then we are welcomed with fanfare and fiesta. And our Lord will say, let us celebrate another teacher has joined us in heaven. It's only then when we will see all the good things that we have done, all the impact that we have ever had on people, on society, in the world, because of our self giving and self sacrifice. It's only then we will be able to see truly um, the fruits of our work.